American government students, hey, just welcoming you to grading period 3, week 3. I do not mean to confuse you at all. The view that you're looking at on my desktop is actually what I see when I go into Canvas. It's a little different than what you see, but it's the only way I'm able to show you the next week's, this week's, week 3's assignments without actually publishing them. I don't want them to be published, and I'm not sure if you get a notification when I publish them. And I don't want to cause any undue confusion. So, anyways, let's take a look at week 3's module. It'll be the final week of looking at the executive branch. And I typically don't start with the executive branch. There's usually some introductory stuff that I go through, but just because we had a president that was sworn in like the Friday before class started. So it just made sense to talk about the presidential agenda, the first 100 days, and things like that. So this week will be our actually last week of looking at the president. We'll talk more about the executive branch later, but you can see I have old stuff here. All right, here we go. Week 3, final week of the executive branch. First thing that I'm going to have you do, it's just kind of a fun little assignment. I do have points on it. This little thing called Welcome to the White House. So I click on it, and I'm just going to maximize it on the screen here. And what you're basically going to do is you're going to go into this picture that I've created of the Oval Office, and I'm going to give you some choices to make: a portrait, a pet. I believe this is a book. This is a knickknack, I think, and then this is food. So what you'll do is you'll just click on the question mark, and let's click on Andrew Jackson, since our new president has a portrait of Andrew Jackson. Interesting choice within the Oval Office. This will tell you a little bit about Andrew Jackson. Also, some have a little "did you know" thing. You can learn a little bit more, but read through it. And if you think that, yeah, you know what, maybe I would like a picture of Andrew Jackson or a portrait of Andrew Jackson in the Oval Office, you would choose him. So what you do is open up a Google Doc, share it with me, write down your choices for portrait, for pet, for book, for knickknack, and for food, and so on and so forth. So what you're going to do is you're going to send that to me, and then based on your choices, I'm going to put together a little newspaper article, customize it for you, just kind of a fun little thing, and I'll send that back to you. If you want some extra credit this week, you can design your own Oval Office for extra credit, and this one is mine. And you can learn a little bit more about me by clicking on the different things that I've chosen to put within my Oval Office. I'm kind of a nerd, I guess. So tell me what you'd put for a portrait and why. Tell me what your pet would be. Tell me what your desk knickknack would be, your favorite book, your favorite food. It's just a way for you to learn a little bit more about me, and for you to tell me a little bit more about yourself and to earn some extra credit in the process. You don't have to do a big elaborate Oval Office like I did here. You don't even have to do it on Google Slides. You can just do it on paper, and that would be fine. All right, so I'm going to escape out of this, and I'm going to look at the rest of the things that we have going on this week. Okay. I want you to put together a help wanted ad for the job of president. You can use the format that I provide here, or you can come up with your own, but let's just take a look at the format that I provide. I click on that. It'll bring me to the Google Doc, and the Google Doc will say, make a list of the responsibilities and the duties that a president must fulfill. You can find that on whitehouse.gov. Maybe during the Obama administration, you could. However, when Donald Trump took office, things started to change on the White House website because new president in office, and that's one thing that the staff can do is make changes to the White House website. So I should check that link out and make sure it still works. Okay. Having all kinds of issues with this Saturday morning, this thing. Again, all right. So the next part, what you'll look at is personality characteristics. These are personality characteristics that you think the president should have. You know, what kind of personality should they have? What things about a person makes them a good leader? What things about them would make them a good president? There's no right or wrong answer for that part. It's all things that fall within the realm of your opinion. All right, next section. What are the constitutional requirements for becoming the president? What does the Constitution say that a person has to fulfill in order to be eligible to become the president? And finally, what are some of the benefits of being the president? How much does it pay? What are the luxuries that go along with it? What privileges do they have? What kind of things can you find in the White House? There's a bowling alley in the White House, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so that is that assignment. And finally, hopefully I'm not running out of time on this video. The final assignment is called Hats of the President. What you're going to do is you're going to look at all the official duties of what the president needs to do. They are the commander-in-chief. They are the chief legislator, chief diplomat, the chief executive. And the fifth one, there's actually more than five, but I think I'm going to get rid of the fifth one and change it because the chief executive and the chief administrator often confuses students because they're so close. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to put together a Google slide presentation. You're going to define the role of these five in your own words. You're going to explain two responsibilities or two duties for each role. That's a point. You're going to give me a past example and present example. You know, you can do President Trump or President Obama because the Trump presidency is kind of in its infancy. So you may not be able to find examples of President Trump fulfilling these responsibilities just yet. So former president and current presidents. I have an example down here for what it should look like. I'm reaching the end of the recording. Have a great week.